What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Fireside Rangers. I have no energy. The Rangers made me stay up until way past my bedtime last night in order to allow me and give me the opportunity to watch them choke a 2-0 lead heading into the third period against the worst team in the NHL currently. And here we are. This is the 2024 New York Rangers rant that me and Will are going to be getting into here. Everything has fallen apart for the Rangers. I don't want to say that the season is over. They're going through a pretty big slump throughout pretty much this entire month of January. And luckily, the season is just over halfway done. So there is plenty of time to turn things around. So I don't want people in the comments being like, oh, you guys are overreacting, saying the season's over, because we know it's not. But you can't deny the fact that if nothing changes and the way that the Rangers have been playing continues for the remainder of the season, they are not going to win a Stanley Cup. And they have a lot of work to be done, a lot of problems that need to be fixed. So we're going to kind of just emotionally explain our feelings towards these problems that the Rangers have. But before we do, make sure you guys like, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss notification. If you're watching us on Apple or Spotify, be sure to give us a 5-star review. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below on the Rangers. This is an open forum. Anything you need to say to get off your chest about how the Rangers have been making you feel lately, now is the time to do so. And lastly, be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Fireside Rangers on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Yes, we now have a TikTok account. So that's cool. But I guess I'll just get us started right here. Right. You look back to right before the season started. What were your expectations for the New York Rangers? They were pretty high, but they weren't extremely high. We were hoping for maybe, just maybe, if we got lucky, we would finish second in the Metro and get home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs. But more realistically, it was going to be like third in the Metropolitan Division. But then all of a sudden, Peter Laviolette comes in. He blows our minds. He elevates the New York Rangers to not only the number one team in the Metropolitan Division, but the number one team in the NHL. The offense was clicking. Every single line was producing. And defense was playing amazing. They were leading the league in goals against. Jonathan Quick was on an absolute tear. Igor Shesterkin was close to perfect. And, injuries, they've played a big part in it. We can't deny that fact. We've said it a lot. Philip Hedl, Capo Caco, just two of the many injuries that have graced the Rangers lineup so far this season. So that is a big part of it. But something else has changed. Right now, the Rangers are playing with a roster that is very near perfect. All that it's missing is Philip Hedl. And I understand that one player. Will, you're clicking the pen too, are you? I guess.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm not even going to edit that out. Philip Hedl's not in the lineup, but he's only one player. And you can't blame all the Rangers' problems on just one player. You look at everything that's been going on recently. The Rangers only have one line that is scoring goals, and that's the second line. And they can thank Artemi Panarin and Vincent Trocheck for that. I know Alexi Lafreniere is having a career year, and he's looked really good, but that man cannot finish a play if his life was on the line. It's gotten a little ridiculous. But at this point, it seems like Panarin and Trocheck are like the only two Rangers out there who are actually trying, and it's showing because for Mika Zibanejad, I don't know what happened, but he is having what is possibly his worst season as a New York Ranger, maybe in his entire career. Kreider has kind of slowed down a little bit, and when he slows down, the power play comes to a screeching halt, which, as we know, is like the only way that the Rangers score goals consistently is on the power play. The bottom six, non-existent at this point. That's the part where Philip Hedl comes in. Without that solid third-line center, they have no support out there. You're having Barclay Goodrow getting a lot of minutes and just bringing this team down immensely. Nick Bonino has played horribly. And, it sucks to say because on paper, the Rangers are so talented. And we've seen what they can do when they're at their full potential. They are the number one team in the NHL. But then they get into slumps like this where at this point, like I said, I'm still very faithful in this team. I know that they're going to bounce back. But it's been like a month now since I've felt confident. Like heading into last night's game, Rangers were heavily favored against the worst team in the NHL, the San Jose Sharks. But a part of me kind of knew, like going into it, like I had my doubts, and I was like, this is gonna break my heart. Like I didn't want to stay up, but of course I did because I love the team. But it was really frustrating. And then there's the defense. I can't name a single Rangers defender that's been better than average throughout this entire month of January. Like Fox has been good, but he hasn't been Adam Fox good. Lindgren, I feel like I haven't even thought of him like as a standout defenseman. Sure, maybe he hasn't hurt the team that much, but he hasn't really stood out to me. Keandre Miller is terrible recently, which is amazing to say because he started off the season as one of the most improved defensemen. And all of a sudden, recently, he's just forgot how to play defense. Snyder, Zach Jones, both of them are mid. And, I think that's the thing that I will say that is my confidence has been completely lost in is the fact that I don't really enjoy Braden Schneider or Zach Jones. And, then there's just the goaltending. Like Igor Shesterkin, you can't deny the fact anymore that he's struggling. He hasn't looked bad. There's a lot of blame to be put on the defense, but there are a handful of goals that go in. And I'm like, Igor, man, come on. Like I get you're having a down year, but we're getting to a point where I'm just like, I'm a little over it. Like he needs to whip back into shape real soon. But I mean, that's like, I'm just disappointed. I'm not panicking. Like my panic meter is probably still only at like a 3 or a 4 for the season, but like we're just experiencing a lot of problems with the Rangers. And I think last night going into San Jose into the third period with the 2-0 lead, Igor going for his first shutout of the year. And then all of a sudden, just like 2 minutes apart, 2 goals to tie the game, absolute defensive lapse there in overtime. I don't even know what happened, but wide open net. And, the Rangers lose. And they finish their West Coast road trip with a record of 1-2-1. And it's been some really bad hockey that we've seen. But I do believe in this team. I believe in Laviolette. Once Heel gets back and the lineup is back to normal, hopefully they're able to work something out. But for now, Rangers, if you're watching, you have upset me and you have hurt my feelings, and I will forgive you for it. But that means that you have to get better first. I know I've been a little here. Will, I know, is a little more. I don't even know what that word describing. I'm just going to let you take this one, Will.
I don't even want to talk about the Rangers. I watched the first period of the game. I had to wake up at 6:30 this morning, so I didn't watch the whole game. Watched first period. Out of nowhere, like 1 in the morning, 1:38 exactly. Actually, I wake up, check the score. They lose 3-2. Okay, I thought I was dreaming. Actually, I actually thought I was dreaming. I didn't think that was real life. And they gave up 2 goals within however many minutes. I think it was 2 or 4, one of those two. I don't know. I can't remember. I was so tired. To the worst team in the league. You go into San Jose. You're leading 2-0 into the third period. You give up 2 goals.
And you're frozen.
Frozen.
You're good now.
Of course. Just ruining my perfect rant. You go into San Jose, 2-0 into the third period, and you give up 2 goals within 4 minutes to the worst team in the league. One that is actually tanking. Like, that's not even a joke. Like, they are actually tanking on their own power play on a shorthanded breakaway for Mika and Kreider. They had 2 players behind the play dive block. Not even close to the play. Dive block.
It felt like a game of like EASHL.
Exactly. It's like when you're losing with like a minute left in EASHL and you're just diving on the floor. That's what the San Jose Sharks did. The Rangers didn't even score on it, and then they go on to lose. So, this team has so many problems. I mean, your first line center and left winger Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna get into Chris Kreider. He's gone 10 games without a power play goal. 10 games. His last power play goal came on January 4th.
It's a long time.
January 4th. 20 days. I don't know how many games that is, but 20 days without a power play goal for Chris Kreider, who's supposed to be one of your best power play forwards, has not scored a power play goal since January 4th. Then you got Mika Zibanejad, who has one power play goal in his last 15 games. Another one of your best power play forwards, who is supposed to have this lethal shot, who can't even get it going. So Chris Kreider has no power play goals in his last 10 games, and Mika has one in his last 15. And you want to know why the power play is struggling? Those two right there. When those two shut down, I wrote about it in my article earlier this week. When those two are not going, the power play shuts down. Your two most important forwards on the power play aren't on fire right now. They can't even. Mika can't even hit the net. The net could be wide. I think it was a wide open net. Who are we playing? The Ducks, and he missed. He can't handle the puck. It's just something's going on. I don't know. Let's go through their stats since Christmas. 45 goals allowed, 44 goals for, -1 goal differential. They're 9 for 43 on the power play. And they're 6, 7, and 2 since Christmas. They are below 500 since Christmas.
That's pretty incredible for a team that entered the 2024 calendar year as the #1 team in the NHL. Quick 180-degree turn there.
Like, this team, there's your two of your most important forwards aren't going at 5v5. They're not even going on the power play. Like, who cares about 5v5? The thing they do the best, the power play. They're not even good at that right now. You know, you have one scoring line. There's two players in the bottom six that are actually good. Easy and Cooley. By the way, Cooley, just kid's an absolute gamer. I love that kid. Like, I'd buy his jersey right now. Like, there's just so many holes in this team, and something has to give. They need, honestly, they cannot wait to make a trade. They are crawling into the All-Star weekend, which is terrible for a team that it was first in the league. It won 1-1-24, literally as soon as the clock hit midnight. And it turned to January 1st, 2024, they were #1 in the league. And now they are not. I think they're 6th in the league, 7th in the league.
They're 7th, which is the craziest thing. Like, sorry to cut you off, where throughout this last month of play, as you said the record, like, the Rangers have not been good. They are below 500, but it just puts it into perspective how incredible their start to the season was, where they are, despite going an entire month looking terrible, they are still 7th in the league and 1st in the Metropolitan Division. Yeah. And a lot of fans will use that as like a way to brush off these problems and be like, oh, I'm not worried. We're still #1 in the Metro. Yeah, it's because this season the Metropolitan Division is terrible. The Philadelphia Flyers are terrible. And yeah, we have a 5-point lead ahead of the Flyers right now, but it used to be a lot more than that.
It used to be 9.
It's getting smaller. It's getting smaller. And as soon as Carolina or anyone starts to heat up and we just keep losing, that lead that you're using as an excuse to not be at least a little bit concerned about this team, it's gonna come back, and we're gonna be taking this a little more serious.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many things that are wrong with this team, and then your Vezina winning goalie. I love Igor Cap. I really hate that I'm about to do this because I love this guy and I will defend him to his death. I love him so much. Igor, I'm so sorry, but you deserve it too. And I get it. You know, the defense has been really bad in front of him. But since Christmas or December 27th, he's 500, 5-4-1, a 2.74 goals against average, and a .892 save percentage. That is like just completely unacceptable for his standards. I mean, like, you know, the Rangers would go through these losing streaks, like, not this bad. They wouldn't look this bad for a little bit, but, you know, there was a bright spot because Igor was still playing really well. It's just the team in front of him sucked. It's everything about this team sucks. The power play sucks. 5-on-5 sucks, but besides 3 players. Your defense sucks. Penalty kill sucks. Your goalie sucks. Like, nothing is going right for this Ranger team. There is literally nothing that's going right. Well, I guess Panarin's going right and Trocheck's going right. Okay. 2 out of like 30 things are going right. Like, it just doesn't seem like there's any change either. Like, there's nothing that's being changed. Like, if the power play's not going, why? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, thinking it will change, and it doesn't. Like, you're throwing this power play 1 unit out that was really hot to start the year. They were. Change it. Like, you got to change something. Like, send a message. Send Mika down to the power play 2 unit. Do something that sends a message to these players that your spot is not safe because you're not performing. Like, if I'm at my job and I'm not performing, I'm gone. I'm fired. I'm done. No warning.
The craziest part is after every single game, like multiple players will have quotes being like, yeah, we know that we didn't play good. We know that this is exactly what we did wrong during tonight's game. So you would think that they'd go and, maybe work on those problems, but it kind of seems like these problems just amplify as the games progress and just nothing is getting better. And there needs to be a very drastic change soon. I don't know what it would be, but it better be coming, because if not, this season is going to go right down the drain like every other season since 1994.
I also want to say one thing or 2 more things. Braden Schneider, a 20-year-old man, after a game, I can't remember which game it was, says to reporters, "We've made some ouchies."
Yeah, me and Anthony had a good laugh about that a few episodes
We made some ouchies. What are you, 5? Ouchies? We made some mistakes. Ouchies.
I said that during the other episode, and I'll say it again. If I'm a head coach and I just take a devastating beat down by another team,
I'd be pissed.
And one of my NHL defenders, a grown man, says that we made ouchies, you are being relegated to the AHL.
I'd be immediately pissed.
Braden Schneider, your flight is booked for 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
I'd be so mad if I heard one of my players say, I just wouldn't even know what to say to him. Like, I would just have him come to my office and just look at him with like the deadliest of looks. So he's questioning what could be wrong. And then I just send him out, like, not even tell him anything. So he's worrying the rest of the next day, the rest of the day, the rest of the week about this shit.
Yeah, no, that's got to, buddy. It's got to be one of the most ridiculous things that I've seen in a long time as a Rangers fan.
I thought it was fake. I honestly thought it was fake. Like, I had to go back and watch the entire media availability to see that it was real.
Yeah, it was crazy. That's definitely one of the moments of all time.
Yeah, that was I was shocked. It's just, this team is just, they're unserious right now. They're unserious. They're not doing anything right. Nothing's going right for them. They're not even I don't even know. I'm just so fed up with this team. I really am. And I still sit my ass down and watch the games.
Yeah.
Thinking that they're going to win.
I mean, at least the good part is, game times are back to normal. Like, next game we play against Vegas, but hey, it's at 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. And, hopefully the Rangers will just come out and make this entire video irrelevant and they'll win. But if not, and this trend continues, at least it'll be 9:30 when I angrily go to bed and not 2 a.m. I think that might be my biggest complaint, is that I'm just tired because I had to stay up super late and wake up super early. And maybe the Rangers should just abide by our sleep schedules, and the NHL can, reschedule those late night games to another day.
There's only one late night game for the rest of the year, 9:30 against the Avalanche. I don't know when, but it's at 9:30, and that's about it.
That's not even that bad. I can do that.
Not that bad.
Especially if it's on a Friday or a Saturday. I can do that.
Exactly. Yeah. This team, like you said earlier, I know I'm kind of just going on now, but like you said earlier, there's a reason why this team was playing how they were playing at the beginning of the year, and I'm really, as mad as I am, and as much as I just ranted, I do believe that they will figure it out. And
you have to. Like,
this All-Star break is much needed for them. Like this All-Star break is I hate the All-Star break because I hate the All-Star game. I think it's so boring, but it's so needed for them. Like I hope Igor says, "All right, I got an injury," like fakes an injury and goes on a vacation. Like just clear your head. Do not think about hockey for the entire week.
yeah,
Please.
I agree with that. The Rangers, they need the break. We need to sit down, just relax, take a deep breath, and kind of just have a team meeting. Sit there and be like, all right, guys, we've had these problems and we know we have these problems, but now we have a few days to, just clear our minds and figure out what we're going to do about these problems and not just, be like, oh man, we just took like a 6-2 loss. Let's go
We
play
just made
again.
some ouchies.
Yeah, but they made a lot of ouchies throughout the month of January. But I don't. I've shared my feelings. It feels good to get that weight off my shoulders. Was there any last things you need to say, Will?
I just love Artemi Panarin, man.
I
I
love him
love him
too.
so much.
That's the one positive about this is that we're at the stage of the season where we're ready to just rant about how bad we are. But Artemi Panarin once again finds himself not a member of this conversation.
Exactly.
Vincent Trocek, you've barely made it out too. Um, you're good. Those are my two boys right now. And Capo Caco. I don't even care. Capo Caco could go 82 games without scoring a goal, and I'll still love him.
Honestly, my three guys right now, I'll never hate on Cooley. Love that guy.
Oh yeah,
That
Cooley's
guy
good
is
too.
a dog. He is a six. If you want to know about a 16 game player, that's him right there. You want a team that goes 82-0. You clone Will Cooley's 18 of them. Trust me. Panarin and then Trocheck, love them. Those are my guys.
Will
Put them
Cooley's
as
good.
three.
I need to just publicly say that I love Will Cooley. He's also a part of. He's on the good list. He's on the nice list so
Yep.
far throughout the month
Yep.
of January. But I don't know. I guess that about wraps up this rant. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me and Will complain about all of the Rangers' problems recently. We'd love to give you guys the opportunity to as well. So just if you have anything to say, complaints, if you have anything positive to say, and you want to prove me and Will wrong, leave it down in the comments section and we'll be sure to read them and respond. But thank you to everyone who watched. We know the Rangers have made a lot of ouchies this month, but we're looking forward to covering more great hockey next month. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss notification. If you're watching us on Apple or Spotify, be sure to give us a 5-star review. And lastly, be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Fireside Rangers on Instagram, X, and TikTok. I'm never going to get used to saying TikTok. But yeah, all right. Have a good one. And
Let's go Rangers.